It always comes to this. Hello there guys, back again to another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I showed off both of my tweaked armpit tattoos by Terry. We had done the recolor of the tongue in this armpit, and that was just to try and kind of bring it up to the same, or at least similar color of the other armpit. Interestingly enough, where that tongue has been colored, now that was the third time I believe, it has kind of, it went back a bit, but it sort of, it combined with the color that was there last time to create sort of a different tone than even what either of us were probably expecting, but I quite like it. It's a lot better than it was healed than it was fresh, I think. I like the color that we have here quite a bit more now that it's healed. It was maybe a little too bright when it was bright fresh, but always with anything over black, you kind of have to go brighter than you want it to end up healed. If it's not going in super bright, then it's probably not going to have much of an impact. You will notice that a lot of stuff that you do over blackout will be super bright when you first do it, especially the first pass, and then it will dull out quite a bit, and then subsequent passes, less of that happens. So the second and third layers tend to stay quite a bit brighter. We also did the two teeth over here and a little bit of detailing in here. Obviously Rick and I were into my other part of my underarm slash armpit here today, and we got, I think, the rest of it done. It was going in really well today, and it was just very easy, so my skin didn't swell up too bad. And again, this is the third time we've hit this armpit even in just the last couple weeks, and it took really well. And I am kind of happy to tell you, I don't think that we're going to be back into this on this sleeve again. So again, that was probably either the 16th or 17th. I'm starting to finally lose track of where I am on this thing. 16th or 17th overall pass in this area of my body. This arm, I think, is over here. This armpit's been done 14 times, I believe. So a little bit less, but still quite a bit. Oh yeah, we did the hand last week, right? And so that's healing up. You can see the red darkened quite a bit, but it's the most red that it's been there. And so it's not where I want it to be yet, but by now you guys should realize that it will be. The goal is to get it about as bright as that. So just probably another pass to do that. Some parts are redder than others. This part down here we couldn't touch because it was still healing. So, but it's just a matter of time now, especially now that we've got almost everything on the sleeve where we want it to be. It's just a matter of rounding out the final bits. Next week, I believe we're going to be doing this same texture that we've done in here and the brighter reds all up through the web and behind the eye over here, and probably bring it right to about there. I may even advance some of that over here too. I think that the brighter red will make a better contrast for everything darker behind or in front of it. So yeah, I think the brighter backgrounds are making a nicer contrast to especially the dark shadows we have around some of the foreground pieces. It seems to be popping them out more. So whether I add more of that everywhere or not, in this sleeve especially, it's made a big difference. We also have to head back to the armpit here, or sorry, the elbow, not armpit, so much armpit talk, and buff this out. What we have done is staying as it is, but we still have a little bit more to do in there, so that's going to be on the docket over the next few weeks as well. So just kind of bouncing around, rounding it out. I do have a few little tattoo ideas to do with Rick, but for the most part, this is going to be, like, again, the final big project he and I ever do. And so It's kind of like the tail end of what I understand will be a very nostalgic period of, at the very least, this part of my life. I get so many people asking me how I deal with the pain of these things. Now, I'm into absurd numbers. This is just a great week to talk about this because this is 16 or 17 sessions on my armpit over here in this area. Not the entire thing, but to be working on an armpit that many times. And people think that I must be numbing or I must be like drugged for it or something. I am as present as I possibly can be for this. And I'm looking for ways to be more present for it all the time. And I'll explain exactly what I mean by that. I have been realizing for years that life passes us by so fucking fast, right? Every day gets a little faster the older you get. I'm getting up there, and I'm not going to talk about how old I am because there are people older than me watching this. But those people will be able to say the same thing, that life gets faster the older you get. I start realizing things like, the worst day you've ever had never lasts long, and neither does the best day you've ever had, right? The best day I ever had, I always say, was my wedding day. And even when I was giving my little speech that I wrote up on my wedding day, I realized that that moment was already done, right? The minute you're in the experience, it's already behind you. Like there's all this like anticipation of experiencing this thing, and then there's when you're in the thing, it's already gone. I like to always say that the only time you're actually in the moment is before it happens. And when you're in the moment, it's behind you, because we know that nothing that we're experiencing will last forever. And so the exercise of trying to get away from the feeling never enters into it to me. The whole idea for me is to try and experience it more, right? Be more present, because we're not present in the moment. And people will say, well, that's a problem, Remy. You should try to be. No, I mean people in general. When we're experiencing the moment, it means that that moment will end very soon. Now, I'm not trying to get too meta for you guys, but this death caused by like anesthetic before a tattoo thing, I keep getting tagged in it. I keep seeing it. It's been sent to me a million times, and I've seen all kinds of people react to it. And my take on it will be coming well after the fact, and I'm fine with that. I don't need this video to go up right in the moment. I'm not that kind of guy. I'm not chasing the clicks and all that shit. So this will be, for a lot of people, you'll see this well after this happens, and that's fine. But for me, the idea is preposterous. Like, realistically, putting your death into something like that, like that you're going to be in and out of within hours. When have you ever had a bad day that lasted forever, right? It's all just a memory before long, right? So even the worst feelings we've ever had, they don't last long. The best feelings we've ever had, they don't last long. And here I am trying to experience the moment more, because I'm very aware that we don't get to do this forever, and we have people actively trying to run away from it. And something that I've realized over the last few years is that it may not be for the best that I recommend everyone to do the same kind of tattoo experience that I've done, the color over black thing. Sometimes I give myself grief over it, like, Remy, maybe you shouldn't tell people to do this. Most people don't like getting tattooed that much. Most people are trying to hide from this. They just want to do it quick. But obviously I wouldn't be recommending people to do this from a fresh canvas. But if you get into any kind of cover-up, it's going to take a long time, right? So, like, if you go the laser road, I have a friend who's been lasering his sleeves for, 6 years, and they're still not gone. There's no fast road to this, so that's how I pardon myself of those feelings. I'm just trying to provide people with the resource that, you can do this technically if you want, and it doesn't matter if anyone says you can or not. I've already proven that it is doable. It's a patience thing, though, right? And most people most people seem to be going the exact opposite way that I'm going, which is what gives me some apprehension about this whole thing. It's like, whenever anyone asks me about pain, it's never like, what have you learned from it? What do you enjoy about this? You know, it's never like that. It's always, how do you avoid feeling it? That's the way the question is framed. It's not, what have you learned about yourself from this? You know, what are you getting that's positive about this? It's always like, how can I get the look without experiencing the pain? How can I get the image I want without having to pay for it with either my time or my blood, sweat, and tears? How do I get the product without going through any of the work involved? Right? All of humanity is, we're trying to find ways to get the benefit of doing something without putting the work into it. I don't see that just in tattoos. I see that in life in general. And my whole thing in life is trying to work more and enjoy the experience of doing it more than it is, you know, finding a way to negate that part. Every part of it is like, even my fitness journey is very much like, I enjoy more the working out than I do trying to be attractive, right? Like, I don't give a fuck if I'm ever a 10. I'm never going to be. I've got a giant ass fucking nose that I've made even bigger with this goddamn hole in it. And my ears are the same way, right? I'm not really interested in being anyone's idea of perfection. I enjoy the feelings you get from doing these things and the memories you make. Like, when we blacked out my back, the 2 times we did it, but especially the first time, I didn't know if I was strong enough to do that, right? I had all these weird feelings. Like, I had this imposter syndrome kick in where it was like, who the fuck do you think you are? About midway through, it was like, are you trying to buy your own hype right now? Is this just because you're EphemeralRemy and you feel like you have this thing you have to live up to? And then, like, I turned a corner in it, and it was like, no, I'm EphemeralRemy because I do this, because I can do this, right? That's why I am this person. This is not imposter syndrome. I am the guy that does this, right? And I realized that, like, at some point over the last few years, that not everybody is going to do that. And I don't know why that is, because it's not like I was born with some superhuman ability to suffer either. There's got to be some kind of mental damage there for sure, but I would be doing it anyway. And I would tell you, I tell you this, guys, because you can't find anything of me on YouTube where I wasn't fully covered. So some people think that I'm just doing this for content now or something, or like, what am I gonna do to be relevant if I can't get tattooed? I've had people lob that idea at me, and it's always just like, no, I do this for the feelings and the memories and the stories, and that's really what I'm afraid of not having anymore, I think. It's like this idea of like, you work to be 65, 70 years old, and in a utopian society, most people will never be able to retire anymore. But even the idea of retirement has no appeal to me, right? I don't like this idea of, and then I sat down and I never got up again, right? It was all over. I didn't have to feel anything anymore. I just watched TV and ate chips, and then I passed away one day. That's not a future I want. I would like to be creating and living and experiencing and going through hardship and anguish and good feelings and bad all the way until the end. And the only way to have those good feelings, those triumphs, is to have battles to fight, right? The only way to experiencing the best of life is to experience some of the worst. And I don't think that you can have one without the other. I really don't think so. So, for example, my dinner tonight is going to taste better. It's going to taste better because I went through something today, right? And it's something that's like, I do this in such increments where it's not the victory that it would be for someone if they did this, one time. But it just having it in my life, even just having that friction there, something to rail against, something to overcome, weekly. You know, even your workout. Like, you've got to do this. You have to do this. And then you feel better and you're done, right? Conditioning yourself this way. Most people would have it where they get the result. Like, if they could take a pill and it makes them better, they look better now. They didn't have to go through. It seems like most people would do that. Like, if you could take a pill to have the bodysuit, then you would just do that. I wouldn't do that. And I can guarantee you I would. Like, I would rather put in the work to get it, because to me it doesn't really have any value any other way, right? When I look at this, I can tell you about every session we've had on it. Now, if I have this without that, suddenly it doesn't really mean as much to me, right? There's value in what you do to get these things. And most people seem to be trying to get rid of that part. And that makes me sad. They're not going to have the appreciation for what this is. Like, I'm seeing people try and come up with all kinds of crazy things. Like, you see it with diet pills and stuff, right? So it shouldn't be that surprising that people are trying to do this with tattoos too. Because anything that involves hard work or a lot of effort, if you could mitigate that, most people would. But what I want people to understand is that when you mitigate that, you also lose the meaning of it. And I don't want this to have no value. Like, I want people to know how the sausage is made. Everybody should have to go through this to some degree, I think. And when people start going under for these things, I think the fact that you know, there's a chance you die, I think that's and you can say what you want about, oh, well, it's usually fine and that was something went wrong. Well, no, that's whenever you fuck with the way things are supposed to be done, there will be problems every time. I see in everything that we do that we try and modernize and we try and make more efficient and easier and less painful and take away all the bumps in the road. Every time you do those things, you're risking something going wrong. Guaranteed. Because things are supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be difficult to get good things in life. The path there, the price of admission is supposed to be some kind of friction, some kind of pain. And when you try and eliminate that part of it, don't be surprised when things start going wrong, right? I also don't know how you can even appreciate the what you get if you don't have to do anything for it. It's that idea of a dollar given, right? It's not the same as a dollar earned. It's like my son. You know, he hasn't had to work like I did when I was his age yet. And though I'm happy that he hasn't had to struggle the way that I did, I already had the appreciation of what a dollar is, right? I was working from the time I was 13, and I moved out when I was 15. I grew up young, but you learned the value of every dollar you earned, and it makes you better with money. It's the same way with anything else in life, right? When you have gone through a lot to get what you have, you care more about it. And people are trying to not go through anything and still get exactly what they want out of life. And then it's no surprise that, you know, it's not working out that well. I don't know. I think people should be trying harder to be more present for the bad things in life, the good things in life, all of it. It's all trying to teach you about yourself, right? I've learned so much through having to experience things that weren't, you know, necessarily nice in the moment. And I think people doing whatever they can to try not to is going to make them weaker in time, not stronger. You're not going to know yourself. You're not going to know how far you can go. Like, I see people, it's the biggest piss off for me, people who haven't even started. They've never even been tattooed before, and they just assume they can't do it. It's like, I haven't even started yet, and I already know I can't do it, so I'm just going to the numbing cream. I'm a bitch. Just give me the cream. Just put me under. I can't do this. I hate pain. I don't want to learn anything. I don't want to see how far I can go on my own. And it's like, then they'll make an excuse. Oh, yeah, well, that guy's tougher than me. Well, why is that? There's no physical component to that. There's no reason for that. There's no reason why I could sit and get my whole back blacked out and you can't get your forearm tattooed. Nice, soft, black and gray lion on your forearm. There's no physical reason why,
right? That's all just like you didn't even give it a shot yet. You want to go ahead and get a whole bunch of work done, and then you go, you know what? It's not for me. I gave it the old college try. I'd rather not. Fine, sure, but at least give it a fucking shot first before you decide you don't like it. There's a lot of good to come of it, and you might surprise yourself with how well you deal with it. And when you do deal with it well, you'll find that most of the rest of life, little things going wrong during your day, something doesn't work out the way you wanted it to. You know, things don't go exactly as planned, and you get better at dealing with that too. The more you take on suffering and you take it in stride and you're stoic with it, the easier the rest of your life gets as well. So I would advise that people do that more, not less. And my advice for dealing with pain isn't going to be some, oh, you know, I take perks or I get drunk as fuck or I'm stoned as fuck and so I don't feel it. No. I try and feel it as much as possible because this is all there is. There's not going to be a day when you don't have this, or you should just get good at dealing with it and try and feel it out, because all you're going to have in the end is your memories. And it's very sad that most people are trying to turn those feelings off and not experience anything. It's not for the best. It's for the worse. For you, for me, for everyone. Be more present. Don't try and be less present. If you're less present for the bad things, you will be less present for the good things as well. It's a double-edged sword. Just embrace all of life, the good, the bad, everything in between. You'll be a much better, much fuller human in the end. Anyway, I'll show this off again here. Thinking this is going to be the last time Rick and I work on this guy, at least for quite a while. And I'm pretty happy with it. I'll talk to you guys again here in a few days. Have a great day.